If I had to describe living in Britain in one word, I would probably think of this word. Maybe it's because the exorbitant cost of existing here is higher than Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa on a random night. Let me give you my own anecdote. Back in the day, I remember the times where me and my friends would always go to the chicken shops after secondary school. We used to order free wings and chips all the time. Free wings and chips used to only cost £1. Just £1, you know. No wonder why we were able to go to the chicken shops after school all the time, because it was so affordable. But now, free wings and chips cost £2.50 on average. That's a 150% increase. And you might ponder, bro, it's just £2.50. Are you this broke that you can't afford that? And I hear you, but that's not my point. My point is that daily necessities like food, petrol, clothes, bills, and rent is unbelievably high for the average person in the UK. The average price to rent a small studio flat in London is like 1.5k a month. And good luck trying to buy a house in the UK. The average price for a 3-bedroom house is like £250,000. And this is what you're getting for £250,000. A bloody stinker. And you would think, that's it, but nah. Let's not forget the other costs that come with buying a house in the UK. Mortgage arraignment fees, interest, legal fees, land registry fees, stamp duty, broker's fees, evaluation fees, home insurance, refurbishments, council tax, which will cost you another 50 to 100k. It's such a pain in the bum. Now, with everything being so expensive in the UK, you would think wages should also rise up to keep up with the inflation. But nah, wages have barely increased to keep up with it. A large range of jobs have essentially been underpaid for a long time now. Unless if you happen to be in a competitive sector such as tech or finance, then the public sector pay is still a benchmark on what the private sector can pay, just above to get talented people. So people have no choice but to work 2 full-time jobs and overtime just to barely afford essential costs in the UK. And even that alone might not be enough because of the stupendous amount of taxes you have to pay. Vehicle tax, income tax, inheritance tax, capital gains tax, council tax, so much tax. At this point, I will not be surprised if the government will tax you on the air you breathe. Half of your annual income goes to this government in some form or another. So naturally, you would expect the tax money to be used to improve the quality of services like transport or healthcare. But nah, they don't do anything to improve anything. One thing you can improve on is your online safety. That's why this video is sponsored by Aura. And it's absolutely imperative that I talk about Aura, as we use our names, email addresses, and password willingly across the web without expecting it to come back to harm us. And while a lot of us just do this for ease of access, there are still bad people out there, and it can be scary not knowing where your personal information is going to end up. But knowing is now half of the battle, and there's no better software that can help you with that fight than with Aura. Aura alerts you to threats to your identity and online accounts, safeguarding your personal data from criminals, scammers, and data brokers that's trying to sell your information on the dark web. They give you up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario. And that's not the only thing that Aura can do. Aura integrates other features like spam call protection, an antivirus, a VPN, credit monitoring, password management, parental controls, and other features to keep you safe online, all in one easy to use app. I am not leaving myself or my family vulnerable to data breaches or brokers. And if you don't want to either, you can go to my link aura.com/JohnScully down in the description and pin comment to try Aura 14 days for free. That will be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is exposed. As well as thank you for Aura for sponsoring this video. Transport in the UK is declining harder than KSI's hairline. It's overpriced, unreliable, and stuck in the stone age. Trains cost more than a holiday abroad, yet they're constantly delayed, overcrowded, or just straight up cancelled because of leaves on the track or the wrong kind of rain. And for buses, good luck. Outside of London, they either vanish from the timetable or turn up whenever they feel like it. And if they do arrive, you'll be paying a small fortune to sit in traffic next to someone blasting music on speaker. Driving isn't any better thanks to the extortionate fuel costs, road tax, and ULEZ charges. But it's fine. With all that money you're paying, you would presume that the money is used to look after the roads, and you would be completely wrong. There are potholes everywhere in the UK. It's believed that there are up to 1 million potholes in the UK, which makes drivers 2 times more likely to damage their vehicle driving on British roads than just 10 years ago. And it doesn't stop there. What's good, officer? You good, yeah? Right, you know why I stopped you, mate? Nah, not really. What happened? You drove 1 mile above the speed limit on a 30 mile per hour road. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna issue a £300 fine plus 3 points on your driver's license. Okay, drive slow next time. Meanwhile, the so-called solution just makes it worse. HS2 was a disaster. Northern transport is ignored and we're still being told to just take public transport when it barely functions. For a so-called developed country, our transport network is just broken, and the NHS, y'all ain't safe. On paper, the NHS is one of the greatest healthcare systems in the world. Free at the point of use, available to everyone, and a symbol of national pride. But in reality, it's a crumbling, underfunded, understaffed nightmare that's been driven into the ground by a government that doesn't seem to care whether people live or die. Proof? Brother, nearly 8 million people in the UK are on NHS waiting list. People equivalent to the population of Switzerland are deprived of basic healthcare checks. And what is the government doing about this? Fuck all. They might say that they will tackle the problem, but are they really? Because I don't see it. The real heroes are the doctors, nurses, surgeons, midwives, paramedics, and every staff that works at the NHS. They put blood, sweat and tears to deliver healthcare to the best of their ability. But how does the government reward them? With low pay, impossible hours, and gaslighting them into thinking they should be grateful for it. Ironic that the NHS, a once great healthcare system, is now on life support themselves. Same with crime. Crime in the UK is out of control, and the police seem more interested in tweeting about their latest community outreach than actually solving crimes. Knife and gun crime in British streets is rampant. Burglaries and shoplifting rarely get investigated, and if your car gets stolen, good luck, because unless if you catch the thief yourself and gift wrap them for the police, then nothing is getting done. Meanwhile, they'll happily fine you for going 2 miles per hour over the speed limit or arrest you for tweeting something offensive. And when they do manage to make an arrest, the courts are so backed up that criminals are back on the streets before paperwork is even filed. Yet somehow, there's always enough police presence for football matches and climate protests, but when you actually need them, nowhere to be seen. The UK justice system is a joke, and ordinary people are left to fend for themselves while politicians pretend everything is fine. Nothing is fine out here. It's funny because I recently got a letter from the UK government encouraging us to fill out a survey on our views about issues affecting our local communities. But where is the community in this country? I think I would need Mr. B to cure my blindness here, because I don't see it at all. It's impossible not to notice the misery and decay the moment you step out the door. Everybody's running up and down, stressed if they're going to be late for work. No one is open to anything. No one cares about each other, and everybody's kept to themselves. You can see the matrix in real time, and I'm just sick of it, not in the thick of it, if you get what I mean. So the government can act like they're concerned about the local communities, but we all know that they ain't. It's just a PR stunt. The UK government only want us British citizens to do 4 things and 4 things alone, and that is to work, pay exorbitant amount of taxes, consume in the UK, and die before the state pension age. They don't care about us. They just want to squeeze you out of everything you got. And I have to add, the UK weather is grey, gloomy, and absolutely terrible. If you love the UK weather, then you're a different type of person, I must say. With everything put together, it's no wonder Britain got voted the 2nd most miserable country on earth. And with all that being said, I love the UK and I'm proud to have been born here. Hell, if I wasn't born here, I wouldn't be the man I am now. So I am grateful for what the UK has done for me and my family. That's why it really hurts me when the UK, a once prosperous and global superpower, is now at the brink of collapse. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to see me yap about what it's like being black in the UK specifically, then click on this video right now.